Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed the break. We are ready finally to hop into our final, or I should say our first series.
Our final game of the start of the day.
It's been a long break, guys.
Yeah, break's all the way down here.
Yeah. Are you guys ready for another break? I heard Twitch chat. I was reading some Twitch chat during that. They said they were ready. They were enjoying the music.
Yeah, press Kappa if you want another break. Press Keto if you want more games. There you go. Well, let's just see. Let's just find out which one gets spammed more.
All right, and we will wait for the delay to catch up before we can track the results of this poll.
So we're gonna have to go to another 3-minute break for you guys to get the stream delay catch up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Namshar Serral.
Serral is our first match.
Should be a great stomp because Serral's so good he made Austin one of the most boring StarCraft tournaments I've ever seen because Serral is that good. It's not meant to be a diss to the tournament. It was great. It was fun to be in Texas. The other side of the bracket was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Except Mana 3-0'd everybody still. But Serral was just, it really just shows how good he is because it's disgusting. No one should be allowed to be that good at StarCraft.
It's pretty difficult. And Namshar has a really bad win rate right now versus Serral. He has, I think, something like an 80% win rate. The last series he won versus Serral was back in 2016.
You say 80?
80% win rate. Serral has an 80% win rate versus Namshar. Yeah, sorry. Not the other way around.
Okay.
And I think it was something like 12-3 in series right now. Serral's won 12 series. Namshar has won 3, and they've all been before 2016. Before Serral became a god.
That sucks. Well, we do have the players. We're asking if they're ready to go. Both of them are saying that they're ready. We're counting down. The first game starting. You're getting StarCraft, all right?
There you go. I think my favorite part about this entire lobby situation, by the way, was Serral spamming the RIP tombstone with Namshar's name in the middle. Yeah. I'm not used to seeing like sassy Serral tossing out a little bit of.
I would like to see at the start of the game. I'd like to see Serral type GLHF Tombstone Namshar Tombstone. You know what I'm saying?
I would dig it.
That's what I want.
I mean that would make my day.
It'd be too much fun. We can't have too much fun here at WCS Challenge.
You can't have too much fun.
Oh my God. Look. Okay. Oof. Well, thank God we've got In Control in the back to come in after this series and
there we go.
Try to salvage that one. We are loaded into Acid Plant. And in the bottom right position, we have our Red Zerg player, WCS Austin, and WCS Live Sys champion. He's Serral.
Apparently, we also got Pig somewhere in the background.
Yeah.
All
Cheaper
right.
than the flight from Australia, you know?
Yeah, your budget Pig. Well, spawning up here in the top left, we have our blue Zerg player. It is Namshar.
Well, there's nothing I love more, Fear Dragon, than to start my day with some hearty ZVZ. Now the question is, do you pour the Zerg into the bowl first or the milk?
You always pour the Zerg.
Okay. There's some psychopaths out there that put the milk in before.
But then
the
Zerg doesn't get covered in creep.
That's what I'm saying. But there are people out there who do that. I decided to make sure that you weren't, gonna.
Okay.
It was just
I can.
You passed the test. You passed the test. That's as far as my ZVZ analysis really goes, though.
All right. Well, some of the things actually that I want to talk about with Serral is that Serral is the one that everyone's already been talking about a lot. Everyone already knows he's really, really good at StarCraft. He's won WCS Leipzig. He's won WCS Austin. And I really enjoyed, there was a great interview that Wax Angel did with Mana, where Mana kind of talked about what makes Serral so scary. And a lot of it was he just doesn't ever seem to take risks unless he really needs to. And it sounds kind of simple to say. It sounds like very obvious. Like, why would you take a risk if you don't need to? But that's sort of the thing about Serral, is that he always seems to get ahead, and then he just never needs to take risks. He's so good at getting himself in a position where he's ahead and then maintaining it more so. So I really do feel like Namshar's best chances might be to try and do something in the earlier stage of the game.
I feel like we said that about every opponent that Serral had. And I haven't read that interview, but I'm not sure I entirely agree, because I think that Serral takes very calculated risks.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that stands out to me is that Serral is extremely decisive. You don't see him move into positions and then move away. You never really, there's no hesitation. Whatever he's going to do, he does it, and he does it very well. And that has been, I think, some of the more risky, aggressive builds. But maybe if you're playing, 7-dimensional Chinese checkers like Serral, nothing is a risk because you've looked into the 4th dimension no one else can see, and you're like, well, yeah, well, I won this game in 4 minutes from now if I did this. So
All right. Well, speaking of potential aggression, we do have Serral going for the more forward third base. So this more forward third base location does allow you to get a little bit more aggressive just because your rally in is a little bit closer to your opponent. Whereas Namshar is going to take what I think is the more defensive third. And I want to call this a more standard third, but I've seen so many ZVZs take that more forward third base location. It's not really a surprise anymore, I think, to see.
I mean, in ZVZ, generally, your weak spot with this third base is if you didn't go for fast link speed or your opponent got it much faster than you, it's very hard to defend your base because the Zerg's link speed will give you map control. But since both players are getting link speed, really just comes down to being aware of what units the other player is putting out, how many Zerglings they're going to commit to, whether they're going to be building drones or not, bringing Banelings over to your base. But as long as you're not getting caught off guard by anything, you should be able to hold on to that forward base. And the advantage that gives Serral is he can also spread his creep further faster, which in ZVZ is kind of, you know, it's a mixed bag on that, because not only does it allow you to attack Namshar, but because creep is neutral, it allows Namshar to attack you very quickly as well.
Absolutely. Well, we did have the Baneling nest finish up for both of these players, but you can see that it really was only Serral that made a single Baneling, and even that one Baneling is just sitting kind of back at home on the defensive with that more forward hatchery. And we're just seeing teching up to Lair, getting up the Roach Horn, getting up the Evolution Chamber, everything coming up for Serral. Namshar getting up +1 missile attacks as well, so he is looking to get into that Roach tech, but doesn't quite have the Roach Horn just yet.
He's not even... Okay, he just starts the Roach Horn. I think, no,
he's been focusing on droning really heavily, and this is kind of nice for Namshar. He's not really facing any aggression, so I feel like he's kind of getting away with this.
Yeah, okay, now he gets the Roach Horn. All right. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I wasn't sure, because the Roach Horn seemed a little... It'll time out kind of okay with the +1 attack, but I'm like, is he going to get the Lair? Is he going to commit to this? Will this be like some sort of 3-base mega push of death? No, it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, it could still be that later on if they have difficulty getting a 4th, but...
Namshar
speaks volumes.
Oh, a nice wall off over there from Serral prevents the Lynx from getting up to the main base, scouting out the Lair timing and anything else alongside the Roach Horn. But I do feel like Namshar, I mean, this is so weird to say. I think that Namshar is in a really good position right now because he's got a faster +1 weapons. He's got a higher drone count. His Lair is coming up a little bit later, so he has to be a bit careful about Roach speed kicking in for Serral first. But I really feel like Namshar has actually set himself up in a great position.
Yeah, it's not looking too bad. He's getting more Lings around the side. This can be kind of a weird situation as you see the Lings and some of the Banes, but, you know, not getting into the main base, not having 100% confirmation on the Roach Warren, I think, and seeing where everything is, you can get hit by some weird stuff, right? And I think that while we're not seeing it this game, it offers like the potential for some little bit of mind gamery later where you're like, well, I didn't get a Roach Horn, I actually got a Spire, but you didn't see it either game, so you don't know 100% what it is. The 4th base under attack as Serral tries to apply some pressure with his Lings.
Oh, this is get really weird because here we have Namshar trying to take a 4th base. He's trying to defend this right now, but he also just lost a very important Overlord over by Serral's 3rd base, and he might even end up losing this Overseer. No, the Overseer should be fine, but he got supply block kind of heavily, so if there is a big attack coming soon, Namshar's got to be careful. He does end up losing a few drones as well to a Baneling run by.
Yeah. So 4 of those drones picked off, +2 attack, +1 carapace for Namshar. This is what I really like. Serral has this formation of roaches moving across the map, and as threatening as it can be, the additional upgrades that Namshar is going for, I think in the long run, are still going to benefit him so much. But Serral wants to try to dive on top of this opportunity as much as he possibly can. Gets that Ravager, which is really nice. And a lot of the Queens are exposed here. So with these Roaches, he can get a lot of work done before those upgrades pay off for Namshar.
Yeah, the Roach speed finally finishes up here for Namshar, so he can start chasing after Serral. And Namshar's losing a few drones here and there, but remember, he's still up 10 workers, so he can afford to lose a few as long as he doesn't lose too much. He's also trying to deal with these reinforcements. Serral has just a few more Roaches than Namshar, though, and he's hitting at the perfect time right before that economy has really kicked in.
And Serral's just so good. You know, for all the nice things that Namshar did in this game, Serral picked the perfect moment to just put his foot through the gas pedal. Fear Dragon, as I fumble over my words at 7 a.m. Puts his foot through the gas pedal, full throttle into Namshar's base. He's brought that worker count down tremendously. Namshar, if he's able to hold on and get just a teeny bit of this momentum offset with those upgrades that he's got coming in, +1 Carapace is done now, his +2 attack is on the way, then you say maybe there's some hope for him, but how much is he going to lose in the meantime while he gets those forces up?
Yeah, and he is still just falling in army supply because Serral has not been ignoring the army going after drones. He is just continuing to batter down Namshar. Namshar looked to be in such a nice position. It seemed like he was getting away with all the greed, but apparently Serral saying, no, I just know the exact perfect time to hit you where you're going to have absolutely no chance. And he did it, and now Namshar is down actually a decent amount of supply. It might not be in workers, but he's at half the army supply.
Yeah, the upgrade advantage is nice, but you need to have a reasonably similar army size in order for that upgrade to pay off in the way that you would hope for it to be able to. And of course, let's not forget that the Biles also add in a lot of extra damage that Serral can bring to the army. He could get a few more Ravagers if he wanted to try and smack down the eggs that are building even more roaches. Not sure that it matters at this point though, as Serral takes such a commanding supply lead. Is anyone surprised? Nope, Serral wins.
And Serral goes up 1-0 in this best of 3. Now, I had a little bit of hope for Namshar just because at WCS Leipzig, where I would say Serral was also pretty dominant.
Yeah.
Namshar was able to take a game off of Serral, and I know that's, again, that goes back to the whole, he took a game off of a player in a ZVZ.
He took a game off of him 6 months ago.
Yeah. But I still had some hope. Namshar, though, not quite looking. No. I mean, again, he looked like that was going to be probably one of the best positions he might get into this entire series because he was up 10 drones. He had an okay amount of upgrades and all this, like all these little leads that seemed like if he had had maybe another 40 seconds, 30 seconds, I think that Namshar holds there. I think that he looks really good, but Serral just doesn't let him.
No, Serral's too good at this game, really. It makes it analyzing it almost boring. It's almost trivial when you have Serral in front of you because he plays the game so perfectly. So there's nothing to say. It's like that's it. If you imagine perfect StarCraft, what would it be? It's like, well, my opponent invests in upgrades and I kill him because he didn't put it in units, and there you go. That's what happens. Serral just smashed his face in.
But it did go to show you that Namshar is looking to play greedy. He's looking to take a lot of these risks because he knows that he has to do something a little bit unstandard to try and take a game off of Serral.
Yeah, maybe a 13-12 next game.
13-12, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, the 12 gas 11 pool.
I feel like, normally you
drone pool.
Yeah, you talk about ZVZ and you're like, oh, well, ZVZ is the matchup where things can happen. You can kind of get lucky. It's like a weird matchup with a lot of, volatility. But I feel like with Serral, it's just he came up in the European region where ZVZ was quite literally the thing that you have to be the best at.
Yeah.
And trying to win a game off of Serral and Ling Bane Wars is also really hard. I almost feel like it's sometimes harder.
I mean, these guys are playing ZVZ from kindergarten onwards, so the European region, it's just for them ZVZ it's not a matchup in a game they play. It's a way of life. Yeah. And that's the best Zerg players in Europe do not lose that mirror, and it kind of changes from the old school Zerg players where that variance was there, and we're going to see that probably, we're going to in this group because Stefano's a player who is an amazing Zerg player out of Europe, but the struggle is usually versus the other Zergs, because he was at a time where he was the best. There weren't as many great European Zergs during his reign of terror.
Yeah, that's actually very true. I'm trying to think of Stefano. I feel like the times that I remember Stefano ZVZs because when he was doing Swarmos versus Swarmos or something.
Yeah, when you think of the big
versus Betrayus.
Yeah, when you think of the big players of that era, though, you're looking at guys like Stefano, Naniwa, Thorzane. You go back far enough that it wasn't just like this mishmash of endless ZVZ. We're loaded into map number 2 here in the bottom right position. This guy's really good at StarCraft. He's Serral.
What else is there to say?
There's not much.
Spawning up here in the top left, we have our blue Zerg player. It is Namshar.
Yeah, I'm using this cast as a pilot for my tasteless impression. I was like, well, I already knew how this series was going to end the moment that it started. So I'm like, how much nonsense can I spew to try and make this a little more entertaining?
Oh,
and then
boy.
you can try to talk about the game and try to give the
There you
audience
go,
hope
man.
that Namshar will win.
I'll be the Artosis to your tasteless.
And the thing is, I don't care if I'm wrong, because it makes this so much more weird if Serral doesn't 4-0 his way out of the group.
It is going to be a really, really... Honestly, it will still be a big upset, and I think that Namshar will probably feel happy if he's able to take a game off of Serral, because quite realistically, that's kind of the cool thing about it. It sucks to get Serral first round, but at the same time, you're also like, you know what? That's just sort of life, and then you're kind of okay with that first loss. If you lose to like maybe Stefano or Hero Marine, it's not that they're bad players, but you don't really quite feel great about it. You're like, I feel like I could have done it.
We talked Hero Marine up a good amount at Austin, and he has still been playing a lot. He is a good player. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Hero Marine made it out after Serral in this group, but I think there's a good amount of room there between him and Namshar. And the only reason why I'm not going to punch Stefano's ticket at all is because the ZVZ is the big question mark, and he will have to play probably several ZVZs to get out of this group.
Yep.
So it makes it
unavoidable.
hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah. That is kind of the big question that we can maybe talk about a little bit later on. At least Stefano gets started with a ZVT.
Yeah,
That's kind of the nice thing for him.
I think that next matchup is going to be awesome because, I mean, Stefano plays very fun. He's a very good player. And Hero Marine's been mixing it up more recently. You know, his games have actually been pretty good. It's just unfortunate that in Challenger last season and also in Austin, he ran into Serral. Well, yeah.
That's why you need those WCS points, man.
That's why you need those WCS points.
That's the ultimate selling point.
Get that seeding.
Of Challenger.
People on the Twitch chat are like, the prize money is the only thing that matters. It's like, no, you make more money if you have more points because you don't have to play versus Serral.
Do you want to not face Serral till the finals? Find WCS points available at your local Challenger.
There you go.
All right. Bailey Ness coming on up.
You're a great WCS point salesman.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I would be able to sell. I think I can sell WCS points.
Yeah. Well, for Serral, I mean, they're like the box tops if he's a cereal that's being poured into a bowl.
Serral doesn't buy them from just any local store. Serral's the guy that goes to the warehouse where they're made, kind of bulk orders them.
He goes wholesale.
He goes Costco.
He's got that membership plan. He knows what's up.
All right.
It's a solid long-term investment.
We do have a lot of links coming out, by the way, for Serral, and Namshar has not caught wind of this until I think just now as the Overlords. Wait a second. The Overlord does see the Overlord's seeing the lings making its way across the map on either side of this ramp. This is where you're going to start getting up some of those defenses.
But see, this is what I was saying earlier: is that there is a big level of risk to this. See, look, he jumps on these banelings. And Serral takes these risks occasionally and eats some big busts, but he's very decisive about what he wants to do, and he's still able to make something of it. Now, I think the timing on those banelings was rough, but Serral, this is what makes him good is that he seeks these opportunities, and while they don't always pay off with big dividends and like killing a third base super easily, he still forces a reaction from his opponent. And if there's a window of opportunity for this to do damage, he will always capitalize on it. So he takes a little bit of that chance, and it doesn't pay off. But you're going to see he's going to be undeterred. He's not going to be sweating it, and I expect to see Serral continue to seek other aggressive opportunities out on the map.
All right, Namshar going to continue with his own form of aggression as he makes his way across the map. I'm sure he would love to see the saturation or the lack of saturation over at that third to confirm that Serral is in fact not making any more workers right now. And he is going to see that. He only sees 2 drones, kills off one of them, goes after the queen. Got to be careful of those banelings. Oh!
So sick. Serral, amazing micro there, completely cutting off the retreat path of those lings, using his banelings perfectly. And now he builds the drones because he's like, all right, well, I've cleaned up enough of your lings that I can probably get back on the other side of the map. You're not going to be putting out drones right now, and rightfully so. Namshar is heavily investing into Zerglings with his larva and minerals. So if he gets some damage in, if he can kill a few workers with this third, that would be huge. I think the hatchery is out of the question with the lings that are about to finish. Good position on that queen, by the way, between the mineral patches. Did a great job of stalling as the lings had to run all the way around.
Oh, but the banelings are not made just yet. In fact, they're going to get picked off. One of them goes down. The second one does not finish. And that actually might be a little bit too much right now for Namshar. He's going to try and get up 2 more banelings now, but there are 2 banelings for Serral looking for some connections. Go after some of the larva, get some of those drones, and oh man, Serral's already doing a lot of damage.
Decisive is what Serral is. When this man commits, he commits. Keep that in mind, ladies. I mean, this has been just really solid. He does the first attack. He doesn't really get a crazy amount out of it. He forces the huge ling counter. He gets that amazing position in his mineral line where he hits with the lings on the left, keeps them from getting away, gets the Baneling detonation, and immediately, just pedal to the metal across the map and makes something happen with the units that he has. And it's so sick to see out of Serral. It's just like pure confidence. It doesn't feel like there's any nerves at play at all for this guy whenever he touches the game.
Serral's the juggernaut that you just see coming at you, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try and dodge and kind of strafe over to the left, maybe go in a zigzag pattern. Serral's just like, I don't really care. I'm gonna bulldoze you right now.
You're running through the field. Serral's gonna snipe you. You're screaming serpentine, but it doesn't matter because he's still gonna get you anyway.
Well, roaches are gonna be out here for Namshar, but now the roaches are popping out for Serral, and +1 weapons is favoring Namshar. He's starting to make some progress here, but he has to do a lot of damage because he is down about 18 workers. And as long as Serral holds to any degree, he should be okay.
Yeah, well, with that worker advantage and the amount of roaches that he has coming out, it's more than enough to deal with what's already here from Namshar. And by the time those reinforcements arrive, I think it just gets more and more difficult. Also, keep in mind with the money that he has, it's easier for him to sustain that defensive push. As long as he doesn't reach the drones, it doesn't really matter. Look at that position on the lings, just to hold those roaches back for another second or two so that his can get another volley off.
This is really excellently defended by Serral, and Namshar is now sitting down in a very difficult spot where he has to kind of decide, okay, how much time do I need to think about to prepare for my next match? Well, here we go. Drones starting to get picked off.
Good ling counter.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he got at max 1 drone because the thing didn't pop up saying he killed a bunch. So.
Okay.
And now Serral's ahead 30 supply. There you go.
And he's got his own +1 weapons. That's also the other major problem, as he also has a faster layer tech coming up, so he's going to have a faster road speed upgrade, has more drones, has more army supply. Namshar has, I guess, the one advantage that Serral can never claim, which is he's the underdog, so he probably won't feel as bad when he loses. I mean, I hate to paint this kind of grim picture, and maybe Serral makes a huge mistake.
You're coming over to the dark side. I like it.
I mean, this is a pretty hard one for Namshar to come back from.
I've tried, give a fair shake to all the players and whatnot, but it's no diss to Namshar, ladies and gentlemen on the internet. I'm sure some of you are upset, but Serral is that good. It's just the way it is, all right? And when Serral loses a broadcasted match of StarCraft, then I'll be like,
it makes headlines.
Okay, maybe this guy could beat him. But he just beat him. It's like, no, I don't actually think he can beat him.
I think the problem for me right now is that the last game looked like Namshar's maybe best chance, again, of being able to best Serral in one of these games. And this game, Namshar was playing from behind. Last game, Namshar felt like was playing from a really nice spot, and he still ended up losing because Serral was still able to find the nice opportunity to punish him. So Namshar just has to start playing on a different level in the next couple of minutes if he wants to bring this game back.
Yeah, and if you look at this, the setup kind of reminds us of the last game a bit because we've got that double upgrade coming in.
Okay.
But despite that, Serral's going to hit right before those upgrades finish. So it doesn't matter. Like we're seeing the same thing.
He just knows.
And Serral is, granted, getting his +2 attack, which will finish before, I believe, the +2 of his opponent. So he can still offset that. Defensive Baneling gets a huge hit. And it's like, maybe you'll get a drone, maybe a few of these. Well, he only got 2 lings over there. And meanwhile, Serral is just cranking out the roaches. He still has that huge supply lead. He's got Ravagers mixed in to help with this. And Namshar's got a hell of a defense to make ahead of him. He has the +1 Carapace. Let's not forget that. So he's up that 1 upgrade, which is really nice. But will it be enough to stop Serral?
Yeah, I like the concave that Namshar keeps setting up, but Serral just keeps backing off, getting rid of that concave. And we also see a bit of a roach counterattack over the natural at the same time. Oh my god, he has roaches to spare right now. Yeah. He kills off a bunch of these workers.
This is why you don't want to play Serral. This happens. You're like, oh yeah, our armies are similar. I have the upgrade advantage. Maybe I can do it. It's like, actually, you lost all your drones in the back of your base. Like, oh no.
Yep. And there's just nothing. There's not actually any. There's barely any units even coming. Now they finally come for the natural, but the queen already goes down. Serral confirms that there's no 4th base. More drones are going to end up falling here. Actually, wait, Serral's not going to win this roach fight, right? No, he's going to lose that at least.
But his roaches are behind in terms of that Carapace upgrade, and they'll be behind. Okay, well, his +2 attack finished, but the +2 attack's about to finish for Namshar, which should give him what he needs, but it doesn't matter because he's already lost everything.
Roaches get killed.
There you go.
Serral is looking as good as he did at Austin, and he kind of styles on his opponent, bringing those tombstones to life. GG. Serral, 2-0s, and moves on to that winner's match.
Too good. His name is Serral. He needs his own line of StarCraft apparel. He's unstoppable. It's disgusting. I
mean, I know that there have been some clamors at WCS Austin of when is Finland going to get its own WCS regions, just so we can move Serral out of this, so that all the other players can start earning some cash. But yeah, until then, they got to deal with Serral.
They do. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to analyze. Serral is really good. He doesn't make mistakes. He's very decisive. When he commits to pushes, he commits, and he does a really good job of defending. He makes all the reads that he needs to make. His timings with the upgrades are perfect. He can say that, okay, maybe your Carapace will finish, but then my +2 will finish before your +2, because the only way that you would have any of this stuff earlier than me is if you really skimped on your army, and then I still win anyway because I have more units than you. Yeah. So Serral's too good. We look forward to seeing him advance in the winner's match against whoever wins the next series, because they probably won't beat Serral either.
And speaking of that next series, it is going to be Stefano versus Hero Marine. Now, this is the match that I think Nate and I'm sure Jeff as well, are really looking forward to, because this is going to be a really fun match where Stefano's playing that ZVT that he feels more comfortable with. You got Hero Marine, who's really, really an exciting player, loves that kind of rally push forward, and has shown really strong TVZ, being able to beat Serral in a game last season.
Yeah, I mean, that should make for a really good series. Terran versus Zerg is always good. I think Stefano and Hero Marine always give good games.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys in just a little bit with that Zerg versus Terran.
This poor town has seen its share of trials.